Welcome back to another episode of Modaufy Garage. On this episode, we're changing the spark plugs in the Subaru Impreza. The time has finally come around to change the spark plugs in this Subaru Impreza 2010. So I did pull the plugs out last weekend just to have a look at one of them, and it didn't look in great condition. So what I've done, I've ordered exactly the same spark plug again. So the ones that are sitting in the car, I'm using NGK, not sponsored. So the part number is SIL FA-1876. I will put the part number down in the description. So I've got 4 brand new plugs. I also have a spark plug removal installation tool. So you put the spark plug in the bottom of this rubber and then it allows you to flex it. So I've got that. I've got a trim removal tool just so I can get the plastic scrivets out from the air intake. I've got a feeler gauge to check the spark plug gap. While I'm there, I'm going to change the air filter in the car, and all my research doing the Subaru spark plugs, you're probably going to need a combination of little extensions for your 1/4 or your 3/8 ratchets. So yeah, have a few of them on hand ready to go, because you don't know what combinations you're going to need because there's not a lot of air, there's not a lot of space between the heads and the rails of the car. I'm going to start on the right hand side of the car. So first I'm going to take the air intake out, then the air box, and then the pipe leading from the air box to the throttle body over this side. To remove the last part of the air box, there's like a rubber grommet here I'm not sure if you can see clearly on camera, right there. So what I'm going to do, there's a bolt holding it this way, so I'll undo that. And there's also a bolt right on the chassis rail, which you won't be able to see. And so I will get to that with my 3/8 and 2 extensions, and then we'll loosen that up. The first 2 spark plugs on the right hand side, so you've got one here, and that's the coil pack, and then you've got another one right next to it here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to push down. I'm not sure if you can see this, but I'm going to push down on the wire, on the clip that's holding the wire into the coil pack, and I'm going to see, so there's not enough room in here, you can only just barely get your hand in there, and push down on it, and it should come off. That's one. And the black one seems to go towards the back, and the grey clip, there's a grey clip on the other one. That one's a bit harder to get to, but you just got to push down. I think I need a screwdriver behind it. So I'm going to get a screwdriver, push down on the tab, and then hopefully I heard it release, and then it comes out. What I need to do next is loosen off the coil packs. So there's I think it's a 10mm, I think it's a 12mm bolt here, and another one here. Then once I take those out, loosen them off, the coil pack should just pop straight out. Coil packs. What I'm trying to do now, use all my extensions. I've got my 3/8 spark plug removal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my 3/8 so I can use my 3/8 with my 1/4. So I've got that little extension part. Sorry, I don't know what it's called. And then I can use my quarter. And then I'm going to use this little part here. This, is it a knuckle? I'm not sure what it is called. And then I'm going to, this is how I'm going to get everything out. So I don't need that actually. So I've got, and let's see if I can get the first one out, no problems. I'm going to start with the spark plug that's the easy one on this side, that's closer to the front of the car. So I've got my little connections all set up. So what I want to do is just fit it on the spark plug first. It's seated. So what I want to do now is connect it all up. Put my head under here. That's it. And there's the spark plug. This spark plug has done around 137,000 Ks, so I have neglected it a little bit. And if I compare it to the new one, don't know if you can see that on camera, and you can see, and you can see this one. I think these are well past their use by date. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, just have a look. I have tested the gaps, and these are all sitting at 1 mil, just maybe a little bit over. And I'm just going to test the gap on the new one, but you can see it's, yeah, they're definitely time to be replaced. So I've got the new spark plug, and my research tells me that the gap should be around 1 millimeter, 1.1 mil. So I've got my feeler gauge set to 1 mil, and perfect. Put it in there, and it's perfect. I've tested all of them. So I've got my spark plug rubber installation tool. I'm just gonna click it on the ends so it's got it. And then the reason I use this, so we don't cross thread the threads on this with the head in the car. And then what I'm also going to do is just going to get a bit of anti-seize, just a little bit, just smear it on like that. So now the first spark plug goes back in. Just be careful, find it in its hole. There we go. And then just, it should seat itself. That's it. That's it, not too tight. That's it. So I've done the first spark plug. Everything's turned out well. I've got 3 left to go. Like I said, I'm just going to have to keep on experimenting with different lengths of extensions to see what actually works to get the actual spark plugs out. So I'll show you some of the footage. I won't record all of it, but I'll show you some of it. Ended up starting with my 3/4 because I didn't want to budge, and then as I got it moving, I knew there wouldn't be enough space for everything to come out, so then I had to go back to my 1/4. So all I'm trying to say is it's a fiddly job. Just make sure you have a lot of different lengths of these. You've got, yeah, just everything. You've got everything at hand to help get everything out for you. I've finished the right hand side now. So both two brand new spark plugs, coil packs are back in, tightened up, everything's done. I'll put the airbox in after I've started the car to make sure everything's fine. What I have to do on this side is I need to remove the battery. So to do that, I've done a video on it previously. You take the negative terminal off, the positive comes off second, and then just do the bracket for the battery. Just yank the whole thing out of the way, and that should give you access down there. So this is where the coil pack is here. That's where the plug is. And the other one is at the back. I'm not sure if you can see it. So you can see how tight it is around here. And then you can see why I need to remove the battery. Everything's back together now. The 4 plugs are done. The coil packs are put on. The wires to the coil packs are all connected. The battery's in. So now I can start the car. I'll start it, make sure everything's done correctly, or the car's actually running properly. And then once that's all done, then I'll put the airbox back together again. Here we go. Let's start this car. The car's sounding good now. There is an engine light on the dash, but I'm guessing because this wire here is not plugged in. So what I'll do, I'll get the airbox back in and then turn the car back on and double check to make sure everything's good. Just remember, when you're doing your spark plugs or you have to pull the airbox out and do it, try not to put your air filter back in when it looks like this. Reach out, go to your local auto parts store and get a brand new one to help the car. Okay, the final test. Let's see what lights we have on the dash. The car's all back together now. It's working. It sounds like it should. No issues there. The only issue is, as you saw in the dash, I've got the check engine light and the traction control light. Now, this happened last time. I changed the battery in the Subaru. I'm not sure why it actually happens with Subarus, but all I need to do is get my OBD2 scanner, clear the codes, and then that should be it. So I've got my scan tool plugged in, ignition on, and then I'll enter into this. Read codes. So I'll exit that, so there's a code. I'll erase the codes. Okay. The car's all finished now. There's no more codes on the dash after I erase the codes through the scanner. The only thing I've learned through changing the spark plugs on this 2-litre Subaru is that you need to have a variety of extensions from 1/4 to 3/8 on hand, because if you don't, I'm not actually sure how you would actually complete this job unless Subaru have a specific tool to change the spark plugs in these cars. If you like the video, hit that like button. And if you want to see more content from Modaufy Garage, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you on the next video.